Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Robbi Nugraha from 4A. Today, I would like to make a video about foreshadowing a news. And the news is from poanews.com. And the title is Trump intent on imposing global tariffs. And so let's next to the foreshadowing video.
Tariffs and counter tariffs with no end in sight.
Tariffs and counter tariffs with no end in sight.
No, I'm not going to bend at all.
As of right now, the U.S. places a tariff on metals imported from the European Union.
As of right now, the U.S. places a tariffs on the metals imported from the European Unions.
The European Union puts a 50% tariff on U.S. whiskey.
The European Union puts a 50% tariff on whiskey.
U.S. President Donald Trump threatens a 200% tariff on European wine.
U.S. President Donald Trump threatens a 200% tariff on European wine,
Champagne and spirits.
champagne, and spirits.
We've been ripped off for years, and we're not going to be ripped off anymore.
We've been ripped off for years, and we are not going ripped up anymore.
The U.S. imposes 25% tariffs on Canadian metals.
The U.S. imposes 25% tariffs on Canadian metals
And an April tariff on lumber, dairy products, and
and an April tariff on lumber, dairy product, and cars.
cars. Canada levies, then withdraws tariffs on electricity exports,
Canada levies then withdraw tariffs on the electricity export,
but keeps tariffs on $21 billion worth
but keeps tariffs on $21 billion
of American goods.
worth of American goods.
We don't need their cars. We don't need their energy. We don't need their lumber.
We don't need their cars. We don't need their energy. We don't need lumber.
The U.S. puts a tariff on Mexican foods, but exempts certain
The U.S. puts a tariff on the Mexican foods, but exempts
items included under the North American Free Trade Pact, signed
certain items included under the North American free trade
in President Trump's first term.
pact signed in the President Trump first term.
A tariff on cars from Mexico is also rescinded.
A tariff on car from Mexico is also rescinded.
Mexico says it will respond on Sunday.
Mexico say it will be respond on Sunday.
And for China, 20% tariffs overall.
And for China, 20% tariff overall.
Now, there'll be a little disruption.
Now there will be a little disruption,
But it won't be very long.
but it won't be very long.
The unpredictability drives U.S. stocks wild. Analysts say if it
The unpredictability drives U.S. stock, and the analysts say
continues, all governments lose.
if it continues, all government lose.
They think that if they protect their economy, they're
They think that if they protect their economy,
going to increase the productivity and the competitiveness of
they're going to increase the productivity and their competitiveness
industries in their own market.
of industry in their own market.
And actually, what they're doing is putting them at a disadvantage
And actually, what they're doing is putting them at disadvantage
in terms of price and access to global markets.
in terms of price and access to a global market.
The U.S. argues economic pain now will yield great results later.
The U.S. argues economic pain now will be yield great result later.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
The tariffs, we've got strategic industries. We've
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, the terrorists, we've been got strategy industry.
got to have. We want to protect the American work.
We got the stationery industry. We got to have. We want to protect the American worker.
That a lot of these trade deals haven't been fair.
That a lot of these trade deals haven't been fair.
The administration is sending a signal that it's not business as usual here.
The administration is sending a signal that is not business as usual.
It's now more exports and less imports.
It's no more export and less import.
The next round of tariffs goes into effect April 2nd.
Found on tariffs goes into effect April 2nd.
Carolyn Pursuti, VOA News, the White House.
Carolyn Pursuit, PA News, the White House. Okay, that is the first foreshadowing video, and it's about Trump intent on imposing global tariffs. So we're gonna move to the next one, and it's about Indonesian news. And the title is Ngeri, CCTV buaya besar berkeliaran mencari makan di pemukiman yang terendam banjir. Kabar hari ini dari TV One News.
Sementara itu, banjir yang melanda
sebagian
wilayah di Kabupaten Kutai Timur Tengah ramai di media sosial. Adanya beberapa penampakan buaya dan bahkan masuk di tengah permukiman warga korban banjir.
Warga korban banjir.
Inilah salah satu rekaman CCTV di salah satu kawasan banjir di Gang Kapital Sanggar, Jakarta Utara, Kabupaten Kutai
di Kabupaten Kutai
Timur, dan menjadi perbincangan di media sosial yang dapat membahayakan jiwa warga korban banjir.
Yang dapat menimbulkan bahaya untuk jiwa korban banjir.
Dalam rekaman CCTV tersebut, seekor buaya cukup besar muncul dari bawah rumah panggung warga korban banjir, mengejar ternak warga dan berhasil membawa ternak warga tersebut kembali ke bawah rumah panggung.
Berhasil membawa ternak warga itu kembali ke bawah rumah panggung. I think that's all from me, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.